Alrighty. So, this is not a completed project, but this is like a semi-completed project. It's basically done, but I have a lot of rework planned. This is my version, or Tokyo Marui Shooter Designs Garter's version of the face-off gun. And I had to say, I'm impressed. I'm really, really impressed. I never thought it was going to turn out this good, but it did. Now I've got here as a point of comparison my WeTech CQB Master Gold 1911, and I bought this long before I put this together. Now there are a few things that are just totally messed up on this gun, and like I said, I plan on redoing parts of this gun in the spring of next year when I have better weather outside and time to do this. And if I haven't said this in any of my previous videos, if you ever try a project like this, make sure you do your painting outdoors. I've probably said this in other videos, but probably not this specific video. If there's two points of difference between this gun and the Western Arms version that really stand out, it would be the rear sight. Now in the first video I had mentioned that I was going to try to mount on a sight that was very similar to the Western Arms 2010 version, but just my experience in trying to put together these grips and my inability to really do a superior job with putty work, I decided that I didn't want something that was just really junky looking. So I decided to just go ahead and compromise on that point with the rear sight that I have. It's very difficult. It's just as difficult to find parts that go with that particular gun as it is to find that particular gun. Like I said in the first video, not only are they out of stock, but they're out of production. And I don't know that there's ever going to be a 2014 or 2015 version of that gun. The last website that I went to that still sells Western Arms guns is currently discounting the remaining Western Arms guns they have. So I don't know if Western Arms is even still making guns anymore. I don't know. But, it's very difficult to find specific parts. Now the grip here, this is probably the most embarrassing part of the job, because I was able to cover up those Kimber depressions within the grip by putting on putty, slathering the putty over the grip, to where you couldn't see any of the holes. And then once it all dried, outdoors of course, I would sand this down, and after I was smooth enough, I'd paint it black. Now you can still see some of the depressions on there. It's not perfect. And the dragon is probably the most embarrassing thing, because like I said, you really can't find it. There's some gold dragon grips on eBay that I could buy, but it's not anything, it's not patterned after the face-off dragon. So considering that I made a big compromise with the rear sight, I wanted this to be as close to the face-off model as possible. And this is one of the things I'll still play with after, long after I've had a chance to break this gun in, and do the durability test on it. But it's even worse on this side. I mean, that turned out even worse. But at least the colors are very consistent. This one even had, because of the way I did it, it has kind of a reflectivity to it. And basically, I took some gold ribbon, like what you'll find at Walmart in the arts and crafts section. You have this aisle where they have these gold ribbons, or different color ribbons. And I found one that was kind of gold. The color didn't match perfectly with this, but on the back side, the color was a match. And I've got some Tamiya color gold painted on here also, and it kind of gives it a reflectivity to it. You know, when you shine light against it, it kind of reflects. So I've had some people look at this and they think that's like really cool, you know, but they haven't really seen the face-off gun either, so they don't really have a point of reference. This is about the best I could do with the time I had and with the patience that I had. You know, I really wanted to get this together. But as with previous guns that I've done custom works to, I usually do a first completion of the project and then I kind of turn around and do something else. One thing that I did not notice is that this is not the face-off trigger here. There, you can see that better there. That's not the face-off trigger. When I ordered this trigger from EIHB Asia, I don't know if I ordered the wrong trigger or if they gave me the wrong trigger. But I've got the correct trigger on the way. So, you know, when I strip this thing down in March to redo it, you know, I'll definitely be putting in the correct trigger. Because I'd like as much as I possibly can get right compared to the real gun to be right. The magazine butt plate. As far as Tokyo Marui is concerned, it's very difficult to find any aftermarket base plates for a magazine that are flat, like you would see on the face-off gun. And I still had to remove this lanyard loop because I don't think that's on the face-off gun either. So there's still work to be done, but it's pretty much complete. You know, here I can show you the other side too. Having assembled this gun completely, I can say that I don't notice the blemishes on this part of the gun quite as much. So when I redo this gun in the month of, or sometime in March or April of next year, I probably won't be doing it just because of this. It'll probably be because I want to try to do a better job on the grips and a few internal things that I want to work on. I painted the barrel black, but as you can see, there's quite a bit of scratching on the top here. So there may be a little bit of sanding work that I'm going to have to do underneath the slide, or maybe a little bit more up here on the top of the barrel because there's only one little spot where it seems to do it. I had a great amount of success putting in the portholes. Buying a little drill press, and this is not like a really expensive drill press. This was like a $70, $80 drill press that I got for like 52 bucks at Harbor Freight. And the good thing about that is I can use that drill press for other things. But those 6 holes are pretty much in alignment. Now, they're not perfect. They're not perfectly aligned. Even with that drill press, there's a little bit of variance in the drill press drilling unit itself. So you still have to be very careful, but I was able to do a much better job on this than I did on my other project, which I am going to show you in just a second here as soon as I can get it out. On this V12 gun here that I did, you notice the portholes are much larger and they're not really in alignment like they should be. There we go. So they're too large and they're just not in alignment. So this gun is definitely going to get a redo. But like I said, I got my WeTech here as a point of comparison. Now the WeTech, like I said in previous reviews or video, I don't know if this WeTech version is in any kind of way a copy of the face-off 1911, but as you can see, they have the correct trigger, you know, and they also have the correct colors. Though this barrel actually came out of a Socom Gear 1911, because the original 1911 in this form comes with a silver barrel, which I don't like at all. The WeTech uses a very thick type of lacquer coating, or even maybe a film. You know, like I said in the past, I don't think this is a plating of any kind, but I will say the WeTech version looks more metal-like than my gun does. My gun clearly looks like a matte gold finish, or maybe you can even tell that it's a paint job. This is likely a paint job, but it's such a good job that it looks more metal-like, you know. But I actually prefer the matte finish. You know, Obviously, this version is a Tokyo Marui. This is a WeTech. Tokyo Marui beats WeTech hands down. And